Hey guys, what's up? So I am 4 days post-op urethroplasty now, and it was a bit of a rough ride on the day of surgery. It's probably kind of like the worst post-op surgery experience I've had in a long time. Nothing to do with Dr. Chen or anything like that, just the fact that I was super nauseous after surgery. It's kind of like my fault, kind of maybe the nurse's fault. But anyways, I will kind of I'll tell you a little bit of how the day went in the process and everything. So my surgery was at 12 noon. I was instructed to get there at 10 a.m. So I got there at 10 a.m., got all checked in, got settled in, and you kind of wait around a little while. They get your IV started. They ask you a million questions, like if you've been sick, if you've taken any medication, when the last time you ate is, and all those fun questions. And then Dr. Chen came in and he kind of told me what to expect, kind of went over again what he was doing, and then the best part of this day was actually when he gave me the option of if I wanted in a suprapubic catheter or a Foley catheter or both. So, or not both, it was kind of like, did I want both? Or anyways, so I kind of asked, can I just have the SP catheter, because I absolutely hate the Foley catheter. I was having panic attacks last time and I just can't handle it, and I would just love if I could just have an SP tube and be good to go. And at first he was kind of like, I can give you both of them, and then after 3 days I can remove the Foley catheter, because I like to at least have the Foley in there for 3 days. And so we kind of made the plan that I was going to have both catheters and then go in today, this morning, very early down to San Francisco to have him remove the Foley, and then I would just have the SP. But I hate the Foley so much. Initially I agreed to that, and initially my mom also, thanks mom, agreed to drive me down to do that. But then he was just like, actually, you know what, never mind, let's just do the SP tube. And he kind of talked over a little bit about how he does similar things with metoidioplasty, or something that's more complex with metoidioplasty where he doesn't make them have a Foley. So he's just like, oh, it should be fine. Let's just do the SP. It'll save you the hassle from having to drive down here and stuff like that. So I was like, sweet, let's do that. I'm completely okay with that. And I did ask him if it was gonna hinder healing at all, if I wasn't gonna have the SP, and he was just like, no, I don't think so. And I don't think so is enough for me, because I hate that thing. So anyways, went into surgery. The worst part is that I already was nauseous going into surgery. I had a migraine at this point because I hadn't had coffee, and somehow I had jacked up my neck literally on the way over there by stretching, because I was going like this, and I did a behind the head stretch like this, and I was just like, ugh, and then I just couldn't. It was horrible. My neck hurt so bad. So that kind of emphasized the coffee headache into a migraine headache, because I was just so tense in my neck. And by the time they put me onto the operating table, I was just ready. I was just knock me out, please. I'm gonna vomit, or I'm not really sure. And so I feel like it was the longest time in between them putting me on the table, giving me the happy juice, which did help my nausea a little bit, but I was just kind of just knock me out, just knock me out. And so finally, they did. I woke up and I was actually feeling better upon awakening. My headache seemed to have dropped drastically, and I wasn't as nauseous when I woke up. And then Dr. Chen came in and he told me everything actually looked really good, and he fixed my stricture. And yes, I had a stricture, even though I was still hoping I was going to wake up without a catheter. But they didn't have to use the mouth graft, so that is the good news. Mouth graft free. He used the SP tube. And he was also suspicious that I had a diverticulum or whatever, the little sac that was being kind of where urine was going into because of the stricture, but he didn't see anything on the camera. I was a little bit blurry at this point because I was on drugs, but he said if it's causing more issues, it might be something that I need a CT for, but he didn't see anything with the camera, so cool, I'm just gonna go with that. And he says that he thinks it was really just due to the backflow of the stricture that was causing it. So hopefully the stricture the stricture repair will fix everything that was going on, the pain, the slow urination. Hopefully this is also a lesson learned that I need to stop I need to stop telling myself that things aren't real. I did the same exact thing last time I had a stricture. I was just like, you don't have a stricture, you can still pee. So this is like time number 2 that I've not really trusted myself, and luckily Chen kind of, I guess, knew that about me, or just knew that this was a stricture and we're gonna fix it. So thanks Dr. Chen for realizing I'm a dumbass. So that is all fixed. I'm super happy about that. And he also did say that I'm gonna have to ask him more about this because I was kind of drugged up, but he said the stricture was in the same spot as it was last time, and he made it wider, so if it does scar over again, I should be okay. I'm not sure how he did that or like what that means exactly, and I'm gonna ask him more about that later, so I'll fill you in when I get more information. But yeah, everything went really smooth. It wasn't until after surgery when I was recovering. Upon waking up, I was actually feeling pretty good. My friend Jaden came and visited, thanks Jaden, and he brought me coffee, which was like the best gift ever at that point. So I was just talking with him, sipping on some coffee, I had some graham crackers, and I was feeling pretty good. And the nurse sat me up at this point and asked if I felt okay, and I was like, yeah, I feel good. And she was just like, okay, awesome. And she started taking my IV out. She took that out, and then like a little bit of time passed. I think I like laid down again after that. It's all a little bit of a blur. But it was time for me to start thinking about getting ready to go. I was feeling good enough to go. And then I sat up, and my mom was about to go downstairs to bring the car around, and the nurse was like supposed to be getting me like a wheelchair or something. But after getting dressed, after about like 3 to 5 minutes standing up, I started getting really sick. So I didn't feel it coming on. I just all of a sudden like felt really nauseous, and I started sweating profusely. It wasn't like I'm kind of sweating. It was like I am on the treadmill running really fast, and it was like I could feel it dripping like in my hair and just like rolling in my back. I could just feel super sweaty, and I had to sit down, and then my mom like brought the trash can over because I felt like I was either gonna throw up or shit my pants. Apparently this is just what happens to me. I can't really tell if I'm gonna throw up or poop, but I definitely didn't want to poop, so I was getting ready to throw up or something. So I kind of just had like my head down. I was trying to like gather myself, and I felt kind of like the life being sucked out of me. Like I could almost like feel myself being pale. And my mom went like searching for the nurse. She's like, where'd the nurse go? And couldn't find her. Hit the button, she wasn't coming, and finally some other nurse came, and he was like, oh, like he got me back in bed. Then he was just like, oh, this is he had a name for it, and so he got me back in bed, and it's just like, oh, he needs more time, this can happen if your blood pressure or your heart rate drops too fast. And so he put me back in bed, took my blood pressure and heart rate and all that stuff, and then my nurse came in and she was like, what the hell? Like I was fine. And yeah, so I ended up staying there. I fell asleep after that for like another hour, I think, until I tried to go home again, and I was fine. And then the same thing happened, but my mom was already downstairs with the car, so I had to page the nurse again as I'm like holding on to the side of the bed, sweating profusely and feeling like I'm going to vomit. And then finally some other nurse that was not my nurse came in again, and he was just like, who's your nurse? And I was just like, I don't know. But he laid me down again, and as soon as I laid down, I started to feel better again. So I just kind of like hoped that I would make it from the wheelchair to the car to be able to lay down so I wouldn't feel so nauseous. And I felt pretty nauseous up until I was almost home, and I was able to kind of like suck on some saltines. And then I just went straight to bed after. It was the weirdest thing how I was kind of pretty much okay upon first awakening, and then just progressively got worse as time went on. But I was feeling much better the next day. Excuse me. I was feeling much better the next day and feeling good today. I think now I'm just kind of in that mental battle point where I'm starting to feel better physically, but emotionally and mentally, I'm kind of like over it. And I keep thinking about the gym. I keep thinking about that certain amount of independence and all that stuff that I feel like has left me at the moment. But yeah, it's gone a lot smoother than I thought because of the SP tube. I'll show you what that looks like if you guys don't remember. I had this during my first stage for 8 weeks. So anyways, this is, I don't want to flash anyone. So this is the SP tube. It goes straight into, it goes straight into your bladder. And then you just empty out urine through this tube. This is a cap, which, by the way, do not forget to get a cap from your nurse when you leave the hospital. She didn't give me one, and I had to order it off Amazon, so I had to like shower my first time with the bag like outside of the door. Anyways, so this is how currently I urinate. I hook my bag up at night so I don't have to get up. But the SP tube is so much better. Thank you, Dr. Chen. You're a lifesaver. So yeah, that is my update. Sorry, it's kind of super long, and I'm not really supposed to like, I don't know, it hurts a little bit to sit still. So I'm gonna end it here, and this is a really awkward position. But thank you all for watching and for all your good vibes and stuff like that. So if you have any questions, feel free to leave them down below. Peace out, and I'll see you next time.